I pulled off the road and I had just taken a drink and I'm like, I need a DUI. I need whatever it is. I'm willing to accept the consequences because I can't stop. God, I can't stop. I'm gonna wreck my marriage. I'm gonna wreck my family.
Jason Biddle struggled with an alcohol and drug addiction for over a decade.
I had this just lust and this physical dependency that I had to use these drugs. And if I didn't have them, I'd be sick.
When Jason was a boy growing up in Minnesota, he idolized baseball. When an injury thwarted his sports career, he got into construction work.
The money became my new love. I mean, I was making tens of thousands of dollars a week in some cases. And I could spend it on whatever I wanted, frivolously.
Much of that frivolous spending went for alcohol. Bodybuilding also became a big part of Jason's life. To deal with the muscular pain, he began taking the painkiller Nubane.
It took away the pain, it was fine. And then I remember one time I actually hit a vein with it, and it was the best high I'd ever had. And then it went from working out to just shooting up Nubane.
Later, Jason met and married Brittany. She had no clue about his substance abuse until she caught him shooting up in their bathroom.
It became real clear to me that it was serious, and I just couldn't be with him the rest of my life. So I decided to leave, finally, after many threats that day. I left.
Jason talked Brittany into reconciling, and they started a family. Later, a friend invited them to a spirit-filled church where they heard the gospel, and both responded.
I wanted to learn more about Jesus. I wanted to learn more about faith, and I knew that this was a true spiritual heart connection versus what I had had before.
I just remember him doing the altar call and, hey, if you're not sure that you're going to go to heaven, this is how it happens. You've got to confess with your mouth and say that you're a sinner, and you got to believe that Christ died for your sins. And man, when he said that, I remember just something came over me, and I raised my hand, and I knew that I wanted that.
Jason stayed sober for a while, but the years of drug and alcohol abuse had taken a toll on his liver, and he had to have a tumor removed. When his surgery was over, he was prescribed more painkillers.
The doctor told me, he said, you can't ever drink again because you're borderline cirrhotic. Within the first week, I remember going to the liquor store and getting a bottle when my wife was gone. I took the car, and with a wide open wound, wide open liver, and I went down because the pills just weren't enough. I needed to have alcohol with it.
One weekend, Brittany went away with some friends when she got an early morning phone call from one of their kids.
He was calling saying that he couldn't wake up his dad. I got on the next flight home to Minnesota and met my parents at the hospital. And that is where they said, the doctors were saying he was just critically ill, and they didn't know which way it would go yet. They had never seen anybody recover from from the vitals being so low.
When Jason recovered from his overdose, Brittany left him again. This was a turning point for him.
She's like, Jason, this has been going on for too long. I got to protect the kids, and I don't know if this is going to work. And I'm like, God, if she doesn't want to be with me, I deserve it. I surrender it all to you, Lord. And I give it all. I give it all up to you. You do with it as you will, because I can't do it anymore. I think that was the moment of absolute, true brokenness and surrendering.
Upon his release from the hospital, Jason entered a rehab program at Redemption House in Minnesota.
Addiction is always comes back to a heart issue. It always comes back to our sick hearts because we want something that we want to fill something that we just can't. And then drugs and alcohol are they're just kind of an easy thing to fill a void with. I had these idols. I didn't know what idols were, but an idol is anything that we put in front of God. And we were able to harness in what my idols were, things that I just really put in front of God that I held really close to my heart. And that was pride, control, and money. I loved those things.
While at Redemption House, Jason also began writing songs with another resident. And God has opened up doors for a music ministry.
I'm not ashamed of what happened because God gave me a story that he wants me to share. It's becoming a ministry through the music and through my story that I can share the gospel.
Jason is now clean and sober for good, and God has restored his marriage. With the old idols gone from his life, he now has a new focus.
I'm just super blessed to have been able to find and be where I'm at right now spiritually with my wife and family through him using that absolute brokenness. And I'm super excited and honored to be used by God. There's only one way. There's only one hope, and that's Christ. It really is. And you have to let everything down. You have to hit your rock bottom. We want to try to do it on our own, especially addicts and alcoholics. We want to try to do it on our own. Nobody wants to wave the white flag, but man, when you wave the white flag, that's when God comes running. That's when he comes running towards you.
All of us want to do it on our own, and that seems to be an impulse within us that how can we make ourselves good enough for God to pay attention to us? Now, some of us aren't even looking for God. We're looking for our own way, and we're looking for success on what we think is the world's terms. For Jason, that success started out, I want a sports career. I want to be a baseball player. Then an injury cut that dream short. And so then he gets into construction work. The money starts flowing in, and he can start doing a whole lot of frivolous things. And he does. And then he picks up bodybuilding. And then he finds this drug that will help with the muscle pain from that. And so he starts to realize, well, if I do this, I can work out even more. I can push through. All these things are running through his head. And then he hits a vein, and suddenly it doesn't become about bodybuilding anymore. It doesn't even become about pain management anymore. It all becomes, I need to get high. I need to have that thrill. I need to have that euphoria. I need that. And that need pretty quickly turned into a chemical dependency where Jason wasn't in charge anymore. That drug was doing the thinking for him. That drug was compelling him to do things that in the natural don't seem to make any sense. Why would you destroy yourself? Why would you OD? Why would you get out of surgery and be warned by doctors, don't drink? But then as you're there, you go, well, if I don't get some alcohol in my system, these pain meds just aren't cutting it. I need something more. And that overwhelming compulsion, that the very effort that you're trying to control your life, you're trying to control your pain, you're trying to control whatever it is you're trying to control. And when you reach out to medicate that, well, then you're turning your will over to a chemical. It's an old saying, I'll repeat it. You start to take drugs, and before long, drugs take you. And they take you to places that you never imagined you'd go. And it's all in that vain pursuit to somehow find some kind of euphoric experience. Now, pay attention to what Jason said. Addiction comes from a heart issue, where literally you fall in love with the feeling, and that love of the feeling supersedes everything in your life. It absolutely will supersede your children. It will absolutely supersede all your relationships, your job, your income, and before long, it'll even take your housing and your food, and you'll find yourself under a bridge. It's a very dangerous thing to put that kind of love into a substance. That's why Jason called it idolatry. That the thing that God had created, this God-shaped hole in our heart, this longing for fulfillment and purpose, unconditional love, all of those things, when that gets replaced by a chemical, then it turns into you're worshiping the wrong God. You're having a relationship with the wrong God. Now, here's the good news, and it is really good news. Jason got free. You saw that. Here's someone who is using intravenous drugs, Again, the old saying, when the needle goes in, it never comes out. For Jason, it came out. He got free. How did he do that? He surrendered. He stopped trying to control it. And he let Jesus into his heart. And he said, Jesus, I can't do this, but you can. When you get to that place of surrender, that's when the miracle happens. If you want to do that, we're here for you. All you have to do is pick up a phone and call us, 1-800-700-7000. We're not here to judge you. We're here to tell you you can be free. All you have to do is say, I want to meet Jesus and I need him today. Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.